Good afternoon, everyone. In a special way, we want to welcome the children and parents of St. Paul's Catholic School, also anyone in the family. I hope you're out there also, Kathleen, and everyone loves Raymond and his beautiful wife. I hope you're out there, all you friends there. So the purpose of our Tuesday nights is to kind of to have fun, first of all, and then secondly, to give updates on the school and also what we call our learning connection. Okay, so this week we're doing a free summer school, not perfectly, but it's on our Facebook. So we started this morning with a morning assembly. Miss Lopez at 10 did a wonderful class on phonics for little kids. And then at 11:15, I tried to do a little Spanish class with the Mass. Didn't work out perfectly because the sound wasn't right. But you know what? It's humiliation ministry. We live and learn, and we learn so much. And then we have other programs throughout the day. So the whole idea is that all kids on our Facebook and adults can have a sense of community, family, while they're at home with this coronavirus. So our programming won't be perfect, the sound won't be perfect, and we're just going to be here for you. Now, Miss Rosie, I want you to come forward, and also Jennifer, just to say hello. Come on over, Jennifer. All right. First of all, I want to give Miss Rosie an applause on this side. She has been so unbelievable this summer. How many kids are registered so far?
107.
107. That is quite miraculous, don't you think, considering all the troubles?
Yes.
And so we owe so much to Miss Rosie, being so faithful to the phone and answering all the questions. So we're just so grateful. Mark Lyons is here. He's our technology genius,
Yes,
right?
he is.
Then I have the privilege of Jennifer, our pastoral associate, and she's doing an awful lot at the community center with scheduling all the programming with Virginia, both of them together, and does a lot for different ideas. So the thing is this, is that if any parents have, or anybody has a question, they could type it out on Facebook Live, or you could call me at 213-300-7356, 213-300-7356, okay? So what we're going to do is a mixture. We'll do a little prayer, we'll do a little dinosaur race, a little update, okay, all right? So we're going to start the dinosaur race, and first of all, that's my friend. He's a Californian. He doesn't count. All right. If you're not from San Antonio, you don't count. All right. So let me get my head straight. Jennifer's going to help me for just a couple of seconds. She's got to get home. She's been here all day. But kids, choose. Is it dinosaur number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6? So choose your dinosaur. Choose your dinosaur. All right.
I have to put down what you choose. Rosie says 3, okay?
Okay, number 3 for Rosie. Jennifer, we get
Number 2.
I'm always number 6. All right. So before we begin, first of all, Miss Rosie, are all the teachers back?
Yes.
They're all back.
Yes, they're all back.
All back. And what I understand, and I'm kind of excited, we are getting a new kindergarten teacher. And there's a number of people applying for the job, right?
Yes.
So we have no fear that we won't have a fabulous kindergarten teacher. Is that right?
Well, the update is she has been selected.
Oh!
She did accept the job.
Oh, good. So we do
yes.
have a kindergarten teacher. Okay,
Yes.
great. And remember, whenever there's an opening, we have a wonderful staff to determine. So we have a great kindergarten class.
We
Great,
do.
great. Okay,
Yes.
so basically we may have to hire maybe one person more or whatever, but all right.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
So the race is on. Okay, let's see how it works. Number 6, Jennifer, move our dinosaur. 1.
This one?
Yes, that's number 6. All righty. Number 3. Oh, the race is on. Dun, 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 dun. Number 5. God love him.
That's none of us.
None of us. I tell you. Number 1. All righty. Okay, we'll let you even go around to the other side. All righty. Okay. Number 6. Number 6. All righty. Number 3. Woo, go for it.
Keeping up. Father Charles Rosie.
Oh my goodness. Number 6. All righty. Number 1.
You must have had a lot of caffeine. You're doing this so much faster.
Oh, I tell you, I had to have it today. So, little break in the race. So, what is our learning connection? So the learning connection is part of our daycare, but it's not part of our licensed daycare. So what happens is that somebody from a public school, Catholic school, charter school, they may determine that they need their child to be taken care of 1 day a week, every day for 3 hours, whatever. And so what happens is you sign up for the learning connection, and what happens is they have a couple of options. In my mind, let's say a little boy or a little girl is going to be doing their studies at Jefferson. They're not little boys, they're little girls. But what's our local?
Maverick.
Maverick. They're at Maverick, and they have their Chromebook and they have their lesson. Well, what happens if mom or dad have to work, they could sign up and say, well, I want my child to be, at St. Paul's Learning Connection, not daycare, Learning Connection, and I want my child for 2 hours to sit there and do her homework. I'd like them to attend Mass. I like them to, whatever. So you're able to kind of explain it. So right now, the person who's kind of the expert on our Learning Connection, because she was in charge of our summer academy, is Miss Rosie. And also, Miss Mary Davila. I think they're the best. Even Jennifer could be somebody. So when somebody calls and says, every Wednesday I've got an appointment and I really need my child to study or whatever, and then get a plan, all right? Okay, so that's the learning connection. So even this week, technically, while we have our free summer school, a parent may need, from our Catholic school, may need childcare, right?
Right.
So they could actually be part of our learning connection too, all right? So again, everything is going to change on a dime based on what? Good science and the needs of your kids. So that's what we're providing now. Does that make sense, Miss Rosie? Does that make sense?
Makes sense.
Oh, God love you. So that's the learning connection. So parents, we're trying to do an experiment on Facebook. But Miss Rosie, when are they going to be able to get their Chromebooks, or do they already have them?
Yes, so they can come pick them up anytime. We have them ready.
Okay.
And we have another shipment coming in this Friday.
So what we're going to do is that kids that are registered with St. Paul's, they have 2 options. They could watch us on Facebook, right?
Correct.
Or Mr. Mark's going to help us because he's going to get us a Chromebook. So what we'll do is we'll have 2 cameras here. We'll have, or we already have the Chromebook. So what'll happen is that we'll have the Facebook camera and the Chromebook at the same time. And so our kids will have that option. And what's nice about the Chromebook is they're able to participate. It's like they're in the same room. Okay, all right, so we got that taken care of. All right, the race continues. Number 4. Oh, finally, all right. Number 3. Oh, woo, woo. Number 3. Who had number 3? Oh, Miss Rosie, you can't beat Miss Rosie.
You gotta get a 5 in there. Kathleen's just still at the beginning.
Kathleen, we still love you. You're still a good person. Number 2. Kathleen's our heroine, I'll tell you. Number 2. Number 2. Exactly.
Yeah.
Number 1.
Vanna, you're in the way of the camera.
Oh, Vanna White. Miss Vanna, I love it. Exactly. See, it's called Humiliation TV. I make tons of little mistakes. God love you. All right. Number 4. Number 4. I got to be legal here. Don't mess with the. Okay. Number 3.
Come on.
Woo woo. Number 3.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Rosie.
This is rigged.
It's rigged.
This is rigged.
Number 5.
There, Kathleen. Finally.
Oh yes. Number 5, Kathleen.
Yay.
Oh. Number 4. All righty. Number 1.
Vanna.
Yes. Number 2. Number 5. Woo woo. Number 5. Okay.
Oh, wow, she's coming for me. This could
Number. Okay. Yay, 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 yay. And I hear that Miss Kathleen Muldoon is getting an update on her computer, which means that she's donating her Chromebook to our school. Kathleen, you're a great lady.
For any child who can use it.
And also, Kathleen, I want your neighbor, Maria, I think it was Maria, she came to the community center and she went to confession. We don't tell what sins they were, but, she was there and she told me all about you being her Eucharistic minister in the old days. And also, she was able to receive communion. So, so we brought her to hear her confession, and then we brought her to the image of divine mercy, and we gave her communion. It was so Kathleen, she loves you, and she loves all the devotional books you give her. So she had all these devotional books. So Kathleen, trust me, dear, you're an amazing lady, even if you're in quarantine. All right, number 1. All right. Number 6. Okay. So, Miss Rosie, when we get closer, I'm just curious if you could tell me what is a typical question that you get on the phone that maybe we can answer. What's one of the popular questions?
Help me with this one, Mark. What's one of the
Number
popular questions?
4.
One of the most obvious, for obvious reasons, is what's your tuition?
Oh, that's true. So they do call for tuition.
Okay,
prices.
good. Okay, great.
Yes.
All right, so there we are, number 6. All right, number 6. Number 6.
Father, that's you.
Oh, yes, I'm a miracle.
Kathleen, Father, and Rosie. All
Number 2. Oh.
All right there waiting.
Number 3.
Getting close.
One more. Number 6.
Get a 5. 5 for Kathleen.
5 for Kathleen. Okay, all right.
One more. See who the winner is.
Let's see.
Number 5, Kathleen.
Oh.
All right. So, our main audience here is our kids from the Catholic school, so they already know the tuition.
Right.
But there are kids and parents that aren't part of St. Paul's. So the thing here is that tuition has a certain price to it, but also there's hope for the future, and also we give a little grant to those who are transferring from a public school, and also there's a number of things. When it comes to tuition, don't just call Rosie, right?
Yes. Call me and we'll talk.
So, Miss Rosie, every morning when you arrive at St. Paul's, are you a happy person?
Very happy.
Are you a nice person?
Very nice.
Are you easy to talk to?
Easy to talk to.
So any parent who has a concern, and see the thing here is this, parents, if you're not part of St. Paul's, there's just many possibilities. And also I think we need to warn parents that who are already registered, why we need the tuition because it's not for free to do this, that if a crisis happens, we're going to work this thing out. But again, we need your cooperation to pay the bills and all that. So we're just here for you. So that's a typical question, all right? But more importantly than tuition is to celebrate Kathleen Muldoon and her victory. Yay! All righty. All righty. Okay. So let's see now. So that you always ask questions about tuition. So how many of our students, Miss Rosie, are going to be online, and how many? About, I don't need a scientific number.
Right now, about 60% of our kiddos will be doing online,
Right.
and I get emails and calls daily with parents wanting to change from
Right.
starting.
See, so this is the difference here. See, we're trying to create a community. This is so important. We're not just here about information, we're about community. So what happens is that we're working with our teachers.
Yes.
They're going to be available from 8 o'clock till 2:45,
around 3.
around 3 o'clock, and it'll be live. Because you could watch a video, but it's not personal.
Right.
And also, so like I'm excited about the morning assembly.
Yes.
And the masses, the Spanish class. Also, I'm very excited about having our school mass again. So I have to confess to you kids, don't tell anybody, but Friday is always my day off now, So we used to have school mass on Friday, but it's better that I relax a little bit, trust me. So I think, and Jennifer's so involved, it's going to be Thursday will be our school mass, and the thing is that we have to work it out the best time, So we have morning assembly. We'll figure that out. But know that we will have a family mass or a school mass every Thursday, okay?
Okay.
But all the kids are always invited to go to mass either at 11:30 during our Spanish hour or 5:30. Yes.
Can I put you on the spot? When you talk about mass on Thursday, do you think with safety precautions that those students that are on campus will be able to physically go to church?
Oh, okay. So thank you, Mark. Okay, so now, right now, we're in the process of buying a new camera and getting it all set up, so we'll be in the church too. So what you're saying to me, Mark, is good. So we've already practiced. Jennifer, Michelle, and Virginia, and also our whole cleaning staff have been practicing doing masses, right? And so if we have 112, let's say we're going to have 120 kids, and half of them will be online. That means we only have 60 kids, right? So yes, they will be able to go to mass, but socially distancing. So because what we've done is we've taken, first of all, we got to give Rosa and Ramiro an applause.
Yeah.
Woo, 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 woo. So they have been learning how to clean the church. So on Thursdays, this is perfect. Now I'm getting it. Thank you, Mark. It's a great question. So they'll be the kids will be socially distant in the church, and then the camera. Then it will be also online.
Right.
And just
Online, we'll do the same. We'll do online through Facebook for parents and everybody, and
Yeah.
we'll also, of course, be on the Chromebooks for
Right.
the interaction with.
And you know what, Jennifer, Miss Merle, what I think would be great? I think we should try to work this out, that the lectors, like the lector and the readers, that they actually be not in the church, but choose a kid who could do it from, their home, with the Chromebook. Let's work that out, Mark, right?
Yeah, that could definitely work.
Yeah.
The one thing is, everybody in the church would not be able to see them.
Right, but we'd be able to hear them.
Yes.
And again, see, this whole idea that we're a community, interactive. No, that's an excellent question. So, and
let me play the world's greatest advocate.
okay, now are you can you be sure that you're being heard? Okay, Mark, help us. So Mark's question was could we have a mass in the church on Thursdays? And I said yes, and they'd all be socially distant. What's the other question?
So I have a feeling, a great
Yeah.
hope, and I really think that as all of us learn how to work with and also
Yes.
take time, I was wondering, what is our capacity if we keep that 6-foot distancing? Isn't it about 125 or 130 in the church?
We're at 90 right now.
Oh, 90, okay.
Safely
Okay.
90, yes.
All right. So
Yeah.
I was just wondering, as more and more students come,
Right.
how could we accommodate?
Oh
them?
yeah,
That's my
easily. And the thing is that we could accommodate 120 because we have the choir loft,
Oh, and the sides,
the
yeah.
sides and all that. So I mean, I could imagine the 8th graders, being in the choir loft, and then on the chair. Oh yeah, we would work this thing out. Yeah, excellent. Okay, all righty, excellent. We're very excited. All right, now, so we always start off with a dinosaur race, right? But then we have another little race, which we call this the race to the Father's house. And so we have little characters from real life who know Jesus or God or Yahweh, God in a special way. So in lane number 6, we have a beautiful young lady, Anne Frank. Remember, she's a young teenager, adolescent, and she was the one who was cooped up in an attic for those years when the Nazis came in and made them hide. So she's a good example for us.
In our family theater, of course.
Oh yeah, our family theater, exactly. All right. All right. Excellent. Miss Corvey. This is a wonderful woman who she changed her life. She was the one woman in the famous case of Roe versus Wade, in which she tried to get the right to have an abortion, but later on in life she became a Catholic. She converted to Catholicism. Then my favorite lady, Dorothy Day, again a great lady who worked for the poor. Then we have Saint Teresa of Avila. She was a mover and shaker baby, a woman of her feminist of her time. And then we also have Lois, Bill W. Remember, Lois was married to the famous alcoholic, Bill W. And she helped a lot of women who were married to men who were alcoholics. And then out of the suggestion of Miss Kathleen, we have Corey Tannenbaum, right? Is that right? Am I saying it right? It's Tannenbaum, right? It's, she was from the Netherlands, and she hid Jews. All right. Okay. So what happens now is that each one of these people were very spiritual. Some were Jewish, like we have some Jewish people, Catholic people. They all tried to grow in faith. All right. So let's see. Are you going to go for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1? What do you think, Rosie?
I'm going to stick with 3.
Number 3.
Number 3.
Dorothy Day.
Dorothy Day. Okay.
Father, for you.
And I'm going to go for Anne Frank, number 6. And be sure I have the name right. It's if Miss Kathleen could remind me of Corey Tannenbaum's name. I want to be sure I've got it right. All right.
I'm number 3. Yes.
And who's number 2 again, Father?
Number 2 is Lois Wilson. Lois Wilson, Mrs. Wilson. All right. And then Corey. All righty. All righty. Number 4, Dorothy Day. All right. So, Dorothy Day, kiddos, and again, Dorothy Day was a woman who lived a kind of a crazy life, She in her younger days, and what changed her life was having a baby. That's important for you kids to know. When you were born, it changed your parents' life. And that's why your parents are so concerned that you go to a good public school or a good charter school or a good Catholic school. So again, Dorothy Day's life became so important to her once she became a mom. And you know what? Kids change parents' lives. So that's one of our nice little themes today. Okay, let's continue here. Number 6, Anne Frank. I'm just guessing, and maybe Jennifer or Mark or Miss Rosie, how many kids said it wasn't fair? Like how many 8th graders couldn't have their graduation?
That's right.
Right, a little louder. Yeah, right.
Yes.
8th grade, and then they didn't have the prom in high school.
Right.
Well, what I love is that life wasn't fair to this wonderful Anne Frank, and she still, can you imagine, hidden up in a attic, And yeah, like Miss Merle said, talk about being quarantined, right? So she had a schedule with her family. She studied every day, did a little exercise, she wrote in her journal. She made a life for herself, cooped up, and it's brilliant, and that's why we have that famous diary, the Anne Frank diary. And hopefully, again, our middle school kids, I want to get this done eventually. We're going to have, not to act the play, but we're going to have each one of the kids kind of read the play as in parts. You know, one be Anne Frank, one be the mom, one be the dad, one be the Meep and all that, all the different people.
Well,
all
we
right?
have some great ideas for kiddos that want to do that.
Oh, good. So,
Yes,
so
yes.
do you have great ideas?
Great ideas, yes.
All right,
we
good, good.
we talked to.
Who's number 4? Who was that one? I'm sorry, number 5.
Number 5. Now, her name is
Lois?
Corvey. No. This number 5 is Corvey. This is a woman who was a Texan from what I remember, and she was part of the lawsuit for Roe versus Wade. And let's be sure we'll get to our internet. Roe versus Wade, young woman. Maybe you could look that up for us. So her name was, I think it's a Corvey, Norma Corvey. So Roe versus Wade, is that right? So
Looking it up for you.
yes, okay. And what's interesting, she became Catholic. Interesting.
Norma McCorvey.
Okay, Norma McCorvey, and we're gonna write that down. You know what, dear?
So we'll all remember.
Because I'm an old man, if you could write that down on there somewhere, all right? Doesn't have to be pretty. Norma McCorvey. Do we have a little pencil over there? Okay. All right. Number 5. Norma
Oh.
McCorvey.
Oh,
We'll use my glasses until she arrives.
That's right.
All right. Okay. Number 6. Anne Frank. What I love about Anne Frank is she writes that even though the Nazis have done this to her and to all the Jewish people, she still says basically people are good. Kiddos, this is what I prayed for, I think, on this Sunday's Mass. I don't want God, to expand my waistline, because remember, he multiplied the loaves and the fish.
Yes.
When I eat too much bread, I expand my waistline, right? But what I want God to do is expand my heart. And so what happens is that Anne Frank, even though such awful things happened to her, she had a big heart. So, and again, we as a St. Paul's parish should always honor our brothers and sisters of the Jewish faith and every faith. Okay. All right, number 6. Number 6. Again, Anne Frank, a very impressive person. Now, so one of the things, and I experienced this, I don't know if Jennifer experienced this, but at a certain point in life, Anne Frank had a little problem with her who? Guess who?
Mom?
Mother. and I just think it's very important, for kids to know, especially moms, that it's very normal for moms and daughters to be a little competitive or get on each other's nerves.
That's right.
I saw that with my 3 sisters. My mother was a great lady. My sisters were great young ladies, but they went in conflict. And I'm going to tell you a little story. I had when my very first assignment, a beautiful mother, great mother, had this high school student daughter, and she went wild, the daughter, right? And I said to the mom, don't worry, someday she'll be your best friend. And I told her the story of my sisters, because here are my sisters, in the 60s, the wild 60s, they were in conflict with my mother. They became best of friends. And then later on, when she died, they were so good to her, and she was good to them. And so I told the story to the lady. Well, 10 years later, after I told them the story, I went back to my parish, and I'm in charge of people who are divorced and remarried, And so I gave a little talk to my first parish, and guess who was sitting there? Mom and daughter. 10 years later, best of friends.
Getting along.
And guess what?
What?
The young lady was divorced. because again, it was kind of a crazy relationship. So
Yes.
I want you to know, when you read Anne Frank, you see this tension between mom and daughter. It's so human. First of all, tension is normal. It is so normal. It's only faith that kind of helps us get over it. Okay. Number two.
Number two.
Should I go over there and reach and get it? Oh,
No, where's Vanna?
yes.
Come on.
Where's Vanna? when you
Where's
need her?
Vanna?
Lois. Okay. So here's Lois. She's married to a man who has a real drinking problem. Huge drinking problem. And she was there to help him grow, and she was very faithful. In fact, it was a little embarrassing. He had such a drinking problem, and also was the depression. It was hard to get a job. The only way they made a living was mom, Lois, is the one who worked in a department store and helped the family. But she was a great lady. And then what happened is, once her husband got sober, Bill W., with Dr. Bob, Lois says, I'm still a little angry. Here's this guy, has wasted all this money and not working, and all of a sudden now he's healed, and I'm still angry. So she started a little club for the ladies, and it's called Al-Anon. And so they dealt with their issues. So we love Lois. She's great. All right, number one. Who is that now? Let me see here now.
So it is Corey
Corey
Tenboom.
Tenboom. Corey Tenboom. Yeah.
So she's actually a watchmaker.
Yes.
Hooked up but then in her house they hid the
Right.
Jews.
Exactly. So they hid Jews, and she was arrested and ended up in prison because of her care. Talk about an impressive woman. All right, number one. So Mark or Mrs. Smurl or Rosie,
Yes.
are there some other questions we should answer, do you think? What are on people's mind? Number 5, Norma.
How many children do you think will be in the classroom?
Oh, okay, so that's great. So what you're saying
that
is,
a good question.
so you want to know how many children in each classroom?
Can you kind of guess how many at this time there will be in the classroom? If it's 40% of
So right now, the class with the most students in there would be 8th grade.
Oh, eighth grade.
Yes, and so I don't know if they're watching, but we have a brand new 8th grader, which is Miss Navarro's family related to Miss Navarro.
Oh,
so she'll
hello.
be joining us.
Mariah.
Yes. So Sister Juana has 16, and 7 of them will be in the class. Now we also have 6th grade, who has I think 13 or 14, and only 2 will be in the classroom. So it varies.
Right.
It's yes, but.
there's not a problem with safe distancing at all.
Oh no,
No,
they've
no, no.
already they have their rooms designed.
Right.
They're fixing them up. They're taking everything out. Ramiro is going in there and cleaning everything. So
In
no,
all
we're
of our
ready.
rooms, almost everybody's setting up for 12. So even if we
Oh,
were
Mark, you're
12
too much of a genius. We really want to hear your insights, all right?
So Miss Rosie's dealing with so many students and families in the office. I have the chance to walk around with a lot of the technology and see a lot of the teachers. So it's pretty exciting that most of us are setting our room up according to our principal. She's asking that we have 12 desks ready, because that's the maximum we could have in any in our rooms. Their sizes would
Safely.
accommodate 12 students safely, following the proper social distancing. And so we're set for that, even though, like Miss Rosie said, we may have 2 in a classroom, we may have 7, but either way, we'll be set that when those students come back, which I hope they will, when the time is safe, that we'll be ready for them.
Right,
Yes.
excellent.
Yes.
Now, one of my little experiments, and again, I have ordered 10 tents, 10 by 10, and they have windows and a front and a back. We're going to set them up in the community center and see if that village look would be good. So let's say, for example, I'm thinking for our high school students. So let's say if you have a high school student who's at Jefferson or whatever, then they could sign up for the Learning Connection, and the program is called the the village study hall. They would get their own tent for the week. And
Sure.
let's say if you have a brother and a sister, they would, that's 10 feet, they could be in the, and they'd have their own desk in their tent. They'd be able to decorate their tent, and they would have access to the internet. And so what would happen is that the kids would have time to do their program, maybe whatever school they're involved in, but also then they would do service hours. Number one, they learn how to do the camera. Number two, they would help maybe tutor. Number three, we may start a little fundraiser lunch, and they could learn how to serve and to start a business. So again, we're just going to set up this room for 10 people with, it's not like plexiglass in between. I actually have my own room.
Right.
So we'll see if it works. We'll see if it works. And Miss Rosie said, "Don't worry, Father. If it doesn't work, we'll use it for a fundraiser.
That's right.
We'll
That's
help with
right.
stores." All right. Number 4. Okay, Dorothy Day. Dorothy Day. And again, it's a very adult topic, but Dorothy Day, when she had her daughter, but before that, she did have get pregnant, and she had an abortion. And there we have Miss Corey, right?
McCory.
She never had an abortion. Can you imagine? She never had the abortion. But what we love about our Catholic faith is, while we try to teach people to respect life, we also understand when someone makes a decision like that we want to help them get over it and into God's mercy. So we have 2 women who are involved with a possible abortion and then a real abortion, but we're people who believe in God's mercy. So that's, we never, it is what it is, and I'll be honest with you, guys are guys, and they don't step up to the plate in one of these situations often, and it's so typical, and so it's a big burden on women. So they have an extra. In fact, it was her boyfriend, Dorothy Day's boyfriend, who said have an abortion. He wasn't there for her, and I don't know what it was situation with our sister McCorvey. But again, why are we bringing this up? Because we're a church of mercy. That's why we're bringing it up. All right. Number 4, Dorothy Day. So Dorothy Day was a writer, and so she started a newspaper called The Catholic Worker. And she used to be a communist before this. So there was a newspaper called The Daily Worker, which was a communist newspaper. She started a newspaper and about Catholic values, and she was concerned about the poor and all that. So she's quite an amazing lady. And the Catholic Worker newspaper still exists. Yeah. Number 3.
Oh, finally.
Saint Teresa of Avila. All right. Now, so Saint Teresa of Avila was a mover and shaker. She ran convents. She started convents. She was a political lady, but she was also very spiritual. And she has a little thing called the interior castle. And I love this idea of the interior castle. She says, now wait a minute. Outside in the castle, there's all these spiders and roaches and all these kind of creepy things. But what you got to do is you got to leave all those creepy things outside, go into the drawbridge, and pull up the drawbridge and be safe. So a lot of times things get on my nerves. I have problems, difficulties, a lot of things. And so I imagine myself, okay, people, all you people, God love you. All you roaches, all you dinosaurs, all you people driving me crazy, I love you, but I'm going into my Father's house. I'm going into the castle. So I go across the drawbridge. Goodbye. I love you, but I need a little protection right now. So I love
Good.
that. I think
Yes.
of that, and we'll talk more. Okay, number 6, and again, Anne Frank. And what I think, and Kathleen has done this for us, and what I suggested to Kathleen Muldoon, is that we take each one of our saints, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, she's creating 3x5 cards with little historical points. So every time they move, we'll be able to read a card about something about their life. Because sometimes I don't remember everything, like their names. All righty.
I'm just looking. So Robert wants to know.
Oh, number 6. Oh, okay. Robert wants to know.
Robert wants to know how many students will be in the second grade classroom.
Is Robert in the second grade, or is that a dad?
No, that is Robert Moglia. He's in the second grade.
So Robert is actually asking the question?
Yes.
Robert, hello.
I'm going to look that up for you, Robert.
Oh, and you can do that right now,
I can do that right now.
Robert, you're a genius kid. You're a genius kid. All righty. So I'm going to go on to the next dice. Why? While we find out. Okay.
That's right.
Number 6. Okay, again, Anne Frank. All righty. And you know, kiddos, you know how you have to share a room with maybe a brother or sister, maybe a cousin, maybe a grandma right now. Dorothy Day had to share her room. Oh yeah, excuse me, Anne Frank. Anne Frank had to share a room with a dentist, I think. I think that's the story. So here she is having to share a room with a dentist, you know, and
Right.
he was, shall we say, an interesting guy. You know, he had a personality. Because you know, when you share a room, you know, here's the line here, all right? This is my side of the room. This is your side of the room, you know? And so if you have to share a room or a computer, Anne Frank from heaven understands, all right? Excellent. Number 2.
Now that is again Lois, correct?
Yeah, Lois. Do you have some insight about Lois?
Yeah, Lois's story, Lois Wilson, and she is.
Wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. We want to be able to hear your geniushood.
Oh,
All right.
You say it. She's a co-founder of Al-Anon.
No, but tell us what you've learned.
Lois, she's the co-founder of Al-Anon, and usually goes by just Lois W.
Right.
Instead of Lois Wilson for whatever reason.
Right. Exactly. Now, why did people go by like Lois W. or Bill W.? The reason why, it's called Alcoholics Anonymous. So whenever they go to meetings, they never use their last names. They just say Bill W., Charlie C., I don't know, whatever it is, to protect, just to protect them. And it's a big thing about anonymity, because they want people to be able to go to these meetings and get help. You know, and what's neat about it, so let's say like there are priests and nuns who are alcoholics. So so she doesn't so sister, her name is Sister Bea, and Sister there's 2 nuns that I've seen on the internet who are alcoholics. Sister Maurice. And so, you know, they don't have to go to a meeting and say, hello, I'm Sister Maurice, I'm an alcoholic. They just say, I'm Maurice, and and not say who they are.
It makes me chuckle. I love how you bring it up. I'm watching online, and then there's a sister who needs to go to a meeting.
Yeah, I love it. Oh no, if you ever want to watch listen to a good video, Sister Bea, an Irish nun who is a recovered alcoholic, and I think it's Sister Maurice. Very funny. Very funny. Very funny. Isn't that neat to know that people who had problems are funny now?
yes.
Okay, great. Number 1. Let me run over here before. Oh, Jennifer's here to help us. Okay. And who is that again?
Mrs. Ten Boom again.
Mrs. Ten Boom. All right. Again, very spiritual, and gave up her freedom to help our Jewish brothers and sisters. This is something I think really beautiful. And parents and kids, you know, and I think Jennifer should come on over here and talk to me a little bit. You know, Jennifer was raised in this neighborhood with our Jewish brothers and sisters, right? Do you have some good memories of like, I think your brother had some nice Jewish friends, right?
Yes, the boys in the neighborhood, 2 of them were from the Jewish family next door, and they formed a little band in the garage, and they had make-believe instruments for a while until one of them got a guitar. And so every summer, that's what they did the whole summer, is, you know, try to develop a show or something
Right.
with their singing skills, and it was great. It was
Yeah.
great fun.
See, it's sad, you know, we could use the word prejudice. How we are prejudiced. And again, one of the big things about prejudice is the concern about our African American brothers and sisters right now. And we, as personally, we're very concerned that police officers are trained well and also disciplined if they act in prejudice, right? But for the most part, I would say 99% of our police officers are very nice and
Well,
honest
I think
people.
The San Antonio Police Department are
San Antonio, very good.
well-trained.
Oh, well trained.
well-disciplined.
Do we know a famous police officer?
We know a lot.
Father Jimmy Drennan.
Oh, Father Jimmy Drennan was a police officer. And again, and who are some other names?
Mr. Garcia.
Mr. Garcia.
Mr. Martinez.
Now, Mr. Garcia, is that the family I went to and gave the book to?
No, that's Mr. Martinez.
Mr. Martinez is a police officer,
yes,
right?
he
Mr. Martinez, hello. I remember visiting you when I wanted to bring your books. So, Mr. Martinez, who else?
Mr. Garcia, he is the parent of an 8th grader.
Mr. Garcia. But there's another famous.
Medina of-
Medina.
Medina.
yes.
Clark
And then we
Medina.
have a detective.
Oh.
One of our 8th graders, his mom, is a detective.
Oh,
One of
the
our-
mom is a detective.
Whoa.
And one of our 8th graders, one of the mom works in the courthouse.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of
Right.
police and court.
Law enforcement.
So I would hope, as good citizens and good Christians, we avoid prejudice. And also, if a person is prejudiced, we deal with that prejudiced person. We don't call everybody evil. So yes, there are police officers that have done some actions that are because of prejudice, surely. But you don't condemn all police officers, right? So and again, we look at prejudice here. We look at the prejudice of that our wonderful Corey Ten Boom fought against with our Jewish brothers and sisters. Then we have a victim of prejudice, and so we have to really kind of be sure that we're not prejudiced. And also, if one person in a profession is prejudiced, like police officers or teachers or whatever, we don't condemn everybody, because that's kind of a prejudice. Don't you really kind of think, if I say, all policemen are evil, that's like saying all Italians are evil. I'm Italian, I could say that, All Irish are evil. No. The only bad Italian is me, not all of them, Okay. All right, let's continue. All right.
So
Oh, yeah, let's hear. Okay, so it was Robert who asked the question. Tell us.
So Robert, there are 12 second graders registered, and 5 of them will be in the classroom.
Excellent.
So-
5 in the classroom.
Yes. We'll have to ask if Robert's got.
Is Robert going to be in the classroom?
Robert will be in the classroom.
Okay, Robert. Woo-hoo.
We also, I don't think she's watching, but Eliana Montevirgin, she is a brand new student with us this year.
Okay.
So we welcome her. She'll be in 2nd grade, in the classroom.
Yes. I got a phone call from a kindergartner, right? Parent.
Yes.
Not a kindergartner, but the parent. And the reason why they chose St. Paul's is because they wanted their child to be in a real classroom.
That's right.
You know.
In kinder.
Yeah. And so, and again, we'll do everything. One of the big things and again, Mark and everybody, when we have to find a safe place outside to do exercise. Because I think that's what they're saying. Exercise outside is safe. So I'm going to just suggest, and maybe you and I, Mark, and Miss Rosie and Miss Lisa, we should take a look at that grass area on the Sutton side, where all the trees are, and see if that could be an outside gym.
What about the new garden, or is that off limits?
Well, the thing is, no, it's not off limits, but there's no shade.
Oh, right.
When I was looking at our campus, I thought of shade. So we should go over there and see if,
Along the church on the south
Yeah.
side is gorgeous.
yeah, it is. It'd be great. So, so that's one thing to consider, is that would be our outside gym. Another kind of neat place is, behind our youth center, behind the John Paul, there is some nice grass area too there.
That's true, yes.
So, parents, remember, the Catholic Church and all churches are exempted by certain rules because of the freedom of religion in Texas, and we're very proud that Texas respects our right to practice our faith. But we're never exempted from what? Good science. So we won't take advantage of that. Okay, great. Okay, good. All right. Number 2. And is that Lois again?
Yep, Ms. Wilson.
Okay,
Lois
Miss
W. Lois W.
Lois W. There's a great line that I think comes from Al-Anon. So the line is this: I cannot do for you what you and God have to do for yourself. You know, so for example, a lot of times, and I think this is important for little kids. Let's say mommy or daddy does have a problem with alcohol or anger. Sometimes little kids take it personally, like it's my fault. No, you say to mommy and daddy, I love you, you're fabulous, but I cannot do for you what you got to do for yourself. You know, so I respect you, I love you, but I'm a little kid and I'm gonna go play in the playground because I can't do for you what you have to do for yourself. All right, so that's what kind of Lois had to give her husband freedom. You know, I can't change you. I can't change you.
That's on you.
And I think it's on you to change. And I think what changes people is God and also failure. You know, that's the best thing, you know. So like when you kids are in the principal's office, that changes you. Okay, all righty. Number 2. And again, that's our friend Lois. The other thing I loved, and I had this experience, is that sometimes we look at problems with alcohol, drugs, as a moral issue. They're bad people, you know. And what we learned from Al-Anon is that people who have a drug problem or an alcohol, they're not bad people. They're just a disease, a spiritual illness, a disease, a physical allergy, and they need help for it. So I think that's important. So, you know, anybody who's got a problem, they're not bad people. They're just spiritually ill, needing help. Okay. Number 6. Okay. Anne Frank, I love it. And remember, I want to do the Anne Frank play, all right? Number 4.
No, not mine.
Okay. Now, you know, I need an opinion of the adults. You know, we have our Anne Frank Theater, right? I think aren't movie theaters open yet at social? No, there's no movie theaters open. But the first time we hear from the good science and the good mayor that movie theaters are open, we would love to do a socially distant movie in our Anne Frank theater. That'd be great. Well, I look forward to that day. All righty, number 2. Number 2. All righty. So tomorrow, what's the first thing I need to do?
Exercise.
No, that's not the first thing. You haven't been watching. And I'm kidding you, Mark. But what is the first thing? And Mrs. Crow said it, and also Coach Tony said it today. Before I get out of bed, I make a prayer. And I thank God I'm alive and ask for God's help. So the first thing I do is I pray. Then I have my breakfast and clean up. And then at 9 o'clock, I get Grandma and Grandpa, my cousins and everybody, and we do morning assembly with Coach Tony.
Yes.
And
Prayer, virtue, and exercise.
yeah, prayer, a little thing on virtue, and I thought he did a great job.
I didn't get to see him this
Oh yeah,
morning.
no, it was very good. It was very good, very insightful. And then we do the exercise. Okay, that's the first. Okay, 9 o'clock. Number 5, and again Norma, right?
Miss Norma.
Miss Norma, a woman, and again, you know, I think Miss Norma had, you know, a difficult young life. Not a lot of money, not a lot of love, not a lot of support, which kind of forced her, in her mind, to think about getting an abortion, because, you know, there's just no help.
She felt trapped.
She felt trapped. And that's why we as Catholics have to be so compassionate, why we fight I don't want to use the word fight, why we teach people to respect life. We want that we are there for mercy if they choose not to. And then also to help people. You know, our Right to Life does a lot of nice things. Aren't there some like clinics and places in San Antonio that help, you know, with,
Help these young girls.
help these young girls, and that's the way we want to be.
Help support
All right, and you know, that reminds me, Miss Rosie.
Yes.
You know, if we have a single mom, maybe she's on welfare, and she's looking for a place to send her kids, don't you think Father Charles should find some way to help this mom? Here she is, she chose life, and now unemployed. Maybe I should be more helpful. You know, so again, if you know of anybody who's a single mom or dad and chose life, I think we should do something to help, because look at, we're promoting life, and we'll think about it. All right? Okay, we'll talk. Okay. Number 5. Again, Norma, God love her, God love her. You know, life isn't fair. You know, you have some people that are born into a family where things are nice and calm and relaxed. You know, Norma wasn't in that situation. And the thing is, we have to understand that not everybody has the same advantages. And we have to be understanding. Okay, all right. Number 1. And who is that again? Oh, Corey.
Boom.
All right, good deal. All right. Number 4. All right, Dorothy Day. All right. So she started the newspaper. And then what happened is that because it was the Depression, she started basically a soup line. So and then, you know, so unemployed people would come and they get a bowl of soup, and then maybe some clothes, and eventually she started farms and houses where they could live together. And let me tell you, a lot of these people had real troubles, psychological troubles, and she was there for them. You know, it wasn't just, you know, come to me all you who have money. Come to me all of you who are psychologically perfect. Come to me all of you who are easy to live with. That wasn't Dorothy Day. It was just awful what she had to go through.
She knew what it was like.
Oh yeah, she knew what it was like, exactly. So come to me all of you who are one brick short of a load, all right? It's a beautiful thing. Okay.
Now notice how the saint,
Yes.
that could either be
Oh, yeah.
Pearl or Saint Teresa,
Yes.
they wait for the other.
Oh, I love that, exactly. The canonized saint. Exactly. Servant, I love it. Give her a little help, all right.
Somebody's giving her help.
See, Miss Smurl, the woman of mercy. Okay, number 3. Oh, all righty. Okay, good. Excellent. Number 1. Are there any more questions? Because we only have 1 more minute.
Number
3. All right. So tomorrow we have the 9 o'clock assembly, then 10 o'clock phonics for little kids. The phonics looked really fun. All right. Number 4.
Were you practicing your words too, Father?
I was cleaning my mouth out with soap. All right. Number 5. All right. No, but it was so cute. Number 5. Number 2. All right. Number 5. Number 4. Oh, Dorothy Day with a cigarette. I love it. Okay.
Number 4, let's see here. I don't think anybody had number 4.
All right. Okay, so what are we doing tonight? Every Tuesday we'll have a family parish meeting, and again, it's a family thing, and we're here for you if you're in a public school, a Catholic school, a charter school, or St. Paul's, trying to create community and education and to learn. That's what we're here for. And I want, Miss Rosie, you deserve an applause.
Thank you.
No, really. We would not have the numbers of kids today if it wasn't for Miss Rosie. You've just been a delight to work with. And Jennifer, who always loves St. Paul's and who loves our school and our community center. And Mark Lyons, our technology genius. Oh! Miss Lisa, thank you for watching. Thank you for all being with us. Enjoy your day.
To Raymond Estrada,
Oh.
Ethan, obviously Kathleen, Ophelia Ugarte Estrada,
Jessica Mireles and family.
Morales, okay, Sharon Fullerton, obviously Kathleen.
Sharon Fullerton is my niece.
She had a story about Anne Frank.
Yeah.
Oh, is that my niece, Sharon?
She said, when I taught a class, we read the diary of Anne Frank. The students loved having a part. As a bonus, they all read along so they would not miss their part. It was the first time I read it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So again, what we're going to do, Mark, is we're going to be sure to have a microphone next week right over there so we can get all your insights. Good.